Alright, so what we're going to do here is make our 420 flag design. I'm starting with an American flag design. I'm not going to go into detail on how I made that. There's plenty of videos on that. One of them that I followed was by Van's Wood Shop. That's the video I believe I watched to create this flag template. But I want to change it to a marijuana 420 flag template. So first thing you want to do is grab a joint, light her up, and strap it. So our size on this flag is 16 by 5 by 8.5312. I'm going to remember that number, 8.5312. The 16 is easy to remember. And we're going to cancel that. We're going to make a rectangle. Ooh, I already had it in there. Create that rectangle. That way I have a vector around the whole thing for resizing purposes later. Because this way you'll be able to just select the whole thing and resize it, and it'll be about 16 by 8.5312, and this is the perfect size, as in proportion to a regular American flag. I did bring my stripes in a little bit because I believe it looks better with the design that I'm going to go for, which will be a black and white 420 flag. I kind of like to have the border around it a little black strip, so it's not black and white. It just doesn't end weird. I just prefer this, but you can do whatever. You float your boat, find your lost remote. Take this. That's just the lines I use to get that out, the stripes out there. I import that one. Oh yeah, we can get this to work. Bring it right here. Just draw a circle. I'll probably fit it. Close that out. We're gonna move that circle up and over. And then this way we can take our bitmap, shift and click our vector of the circle, and we can crop our bitmap and take out those wordings. And we just take that circle and delete that. Take this bitmap. I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger just so we get a good trace on her. And black and white, preview, apply, close, delete the bitmap. We're left with our vector. And it's one solid vector, so that's great. Now, we're going to bring this guy over here. We're going to try to center it with one of these. And we're going to shrink it to about the same size of a star. And this is going to be based on your own preferences of how you want it to look. And then what I did was I find a point to line them all up at. Or what you can do is shift click the second one. And that way we'll have to take our stars since they're all grouped together. I'm just gonna ungroup them. And there's still some more that are there, so I'm going to go ahead and ungroup again. Now, we could take our weed and our star and make an line like that. Now, we just take our weed leaf, Control copy, Control paste, and since the new one's already selected, you shift and you click another one, and you center that. Alright, so I just figured that part out. I'll explain what I just did there with these last 3 rows. Now, since I have 3 rows here, I'm going to take these first 3 rows right here, and I'm going to group them together, because if I don't group them together, then it just centers them all into one spot. But if I group them together, I'll leave them all separate, just like that. And then I'm going to take these 3 rows, group those together for safe measure, plus it makes it easier to delete them afterwards. So now we're going to take this one, and we got to select that one first, because we're going to be centering 2 our second selected vectors. We're going to shift and select the second ones, and then we're going to use this. Make sure you use align to selection, not align to material, and center. But we want to undo that one, because stoners forget stuff. We're going to actually ungroup that. Make sure it's ungrouped. Now we're going to select those first 3 again. We're going to Control copy, Control paste, and then we're going to group the pasted ones, not those ones. And then we're going to select these, and then it should work with while leaving our original ones there. Ta-da! And we're going to select our stars, delete that. Oh, the wrong one. Control Z. Select our stars, delete that, and there we go. We got our weed union. Now we're going to close that, and now it's no longer an American flag, and I don't want it to get accidentally saved under American flag. So first thing I'm going to do is go in here and save as, and I'm just going to put weed. I'll save it under something you know. And now we have our original vectors. Now, there are numerous ways you can go with this. I have made various designs, but we'll just go with one of the most popular. And we're just going to write in here, and if you're doing your job right, you should be stoned by now. And we're going to close that, or bring our stuff down here. We're going to have to shrink that a little bit. And now we're just going to, since everything is aligned center of our material, we'll just align this that way to our material. So that way it's centered there. And then I like to bring it to like the bottom of one of these lines. It just looks cleaner in the end, I think. But, let's see, I got it close there, but I want to zoom in and bring it the rest of the way. That way I'm not overstepping it. Yeah, man, that should be good. We the stone, and then let's go ahead and import bitmap. I think this guy turned out pretty good. We're gonna black and white, preview, apply, close. And now we're just gonna delete our bitmap, which will leave our tracing. And another thing I like to do to get this guy right where we want him is bring a square in here, come to that corner, and drag it over to this corner. And I leave it in between these so I could delete it easily later. I'll close that, and now we can select our traced marijuana leaf, shift and click the box that we just used. It's only for this purpose. That way we can align to the selection. I want to center that horizontally in that selection. And then we can click out here, click this guy, and delete him. It's done its job. Now, if I resize this or anything, I'll just make sure I use shift. And I won't move it right or left, but I can move it up and down wherever I want it to. Which actually, I think I'm just going to leave it right there. Now, one other thing that's good to do in this situation is we're going to take this bitmap layer and delete it. We're going to make this layer original. And then I can add a new layer. I'll make it new. Now, see, there's nothing on the new layer. Everything's on the original layer. So, I'll go back to our original layer. And I found that, unless somebody else knows something I don't know, we gotta ungroup everything if we wanna. So I'm gonna ungroup that. I'm gonna copy it to new layer, right? And then I'm gonna take the new layer off. So only on the original layer, and I can group those. Now I want to take that layer off, go back to a new layer, and I want to group these two. Just because I like to have them grouped, it just makes everything easier in the end. But before, if I had it grouped and then I copied it to the new layer, for some reason, it would make it it would group it to the new layer. Now they should be grouped to their each layer, to their own layer. Alright, so I don't know. Whatever's clever, man. I'm probably just doing way too much. Some of these are grouped, so we're gonna go ahead and ungroup those. Ungroup those. Select all those. copy to, new layer. Take this, copy it to, new layer, and same with this guy, new layer. Now, I should be able to turn my original off, turn my new one on, and I have everything from my original onto my new layer. So that way, if I make any mistakes or say I don't have something placed exactly where I want it after I do the offset and all the work, and it's easy to go back and redo that without having to go through a lot of BS. So we're gonna make sure we select our new layer now. Our original layer is off. We're working on our new layer, and we're gonna take our weed leaf, offset that by 0.1. That's just what I use. Offset it. And now this one doesn't appear to have, but sometimes when you offset something, you only want the outside line for this. It'll have inside lines too. So a way around having to deal with all those inside lines, I've found, is to click outside of it, click the line you want to keep, control copy that, and then control Z to undo the offset, and control V to paste the line that you want. I mean, on this one, it doesn't make sense, but in other ones, you'll understand if you'll end up having a whole bunch of like little dots in here or inside lines that you don't need or want. Then if you do want them or need them, then you just select those as well and copy those ones with the line, whatever lines you do want, and then undo the offset and paste whatever you want back on. And now we're gonna offset the We the Stoned as well. By at the same 0.1. And now I think we're gonna line our offset. Alright, now before you do anything, click off of your offset on this one. You want to group it. That way it's all as one thing. If you click off of it, it'll just make life a lot easier. So make sure you group it. Shift, click that, and we're gonna realign this so where the offset is sitting at the bottom there. And I think that should look pretty good. We'll just have to see how it goes. Now, another thing we're gonna add in here. Text. We're gonna write 420. Now we have the 420 right here. And actually, if I go to my original, it has this line right. Oh, let's close off that. Original. Let's take off our new. Go back to original, and I'm gonna use this union line. Copy that to new layer. Turn that off. Turn my new back on. Now I have a box to center this to. So I want to click on that. Shift and click on the box I want to center to. Center to me. And now I want to make this 420 a little bigger, but it's already centered, so I want to make sure I hold shift while I move this, and that way it'll move it as centered to the, and I'm not sure if I even like the 420 in itself. So back in here, Let's go through some of these. I think I'm kind of digging that one. So we're going to close that out. And now, remember, hold shift. And get it to where you want it. Actually, bring in just a little bit more. And now we're going to offset that 420 by the same 0.1. Go ahead and offset it. And have it, whenever I offset, I always have select new clicked. So that way I don't have to select all the offsets, because you see that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different lines I would have to click on. Or you could just check mark that box and group it when you're done. Now, we're going to do that again because I had the wrong thing selected up here. It's on the original now, which is fine. But on the new, we want to have the same 420, offset 0.1, selected the new, group that, and now all these weed leaves are not grouped. So we're going to select everything, and you can just shift click the 420 and the one of the offset lines, and we're going to go ahead and group that. Now, whenever you click on one of those, you have all of them. We're going to click on that, and we're going to click on the offset line, shift and click, and there's a weld button right here. There's a weld and then a subtract button. Subtract second selected vectors from first. You do that, you're left with that. With the 420. Now we're going to use that same button. Oh, I almost forgot. Before you click off of it, it's easier. You shift. If you group it all. That way, if you ever have to click on it, it's just one click. It's all one element, as far as I'm concerned. Now, we have this. And we want to shift and click on our offset line and use that same subtract button. And then we're going to group. We're going to do the same thing. It's already selected. So we're going to shift and click not the stone text, but the offset and subtract. And then group. Now we have our SVG file 420. I'm going to delete this union box right here. And like I said, if for some reason you don't like where the weed leaves place or the wordings place, whenever you go through all the tool paths or anything like that, you just turn off your new, turn on your original, and you have everything right there, so you can move it around wherever you want it and then repeat. But for our purposes here, I'm going to use this, and I'm also going to take this box right here, copy that to the new layer. I seen that wasn't there. That way we can resize it easily if need be. And this is just one of the weed flags that I've made. Now we're gonna file, and I'm gonna save my progress, and I'll go ahead and open some of the other weed flags. Oh, one thing actually, before I do that, we'll go into the toolpaths. And if you're doing this on just a flat surface, what I like to do is you could just take the whole thing. This is what I did at first. A vcarve path with a 0.2 depth. Use a clearance tool, but don't use this. If you're doing flat, select, and we'll go ahead and do. And this is on a smaller surface, so I'll just do a down cut 1/8 inch. Select that. And I'm not going to cut this one out, but we'll just go ahead. You always want to ramp your plunge moves. That's an 1/8 inch bit. So you want to go down probably a 1/4 inch. Double the thing of the bit, I believe, is what somebody said. Who knows? I'm just a stoner. I'm not a professional, so do what you do. That's just what works for me, man. Let's calculate that. And now, what we could do is go material color. I use a solid color for material, right? Use black. Because usually I paint them black. And then I carve them. And then we'll do toolpath color, white. Set it all. And preview all toolpaths. Voila, man. Shit looks dope, huh? But you can bring your stripes in probably 0.1. That'll probably look a little better. You know, mess around with it a little bit. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you how I turn that into, hold with me. Well, I have a few different designs based off the same marijuana. We'll go ahead and save that. Why not? We're going to open up. This is Weed the People. And let's go ahead and I'll just show you. And in the next video, I'll teach you how to do this. And see, this is going to be in a spire, though. You would have to have a spire to do the waves that I do it. But if you could find a way to get the waves, there are other ways to get the waves, then you can bring those waves in here and use your own vectors and project those vectors onto a 3D carving surface, I believe, which is vcarve Pro or vcarve Desktop. Yep, and this is what I'll be showing you in the next video. How I got that. Stay tuned, and please like and subscribe if you find any of this interesting or helpful. If not, then whatever, man. Bitch about it.